Hello. Okay. This is my first attempt at a live stream outside. And yeah, so this is going to be completely flying by the seat of my pants, and we'll see what happens. Basically, find it easier to broadcast outside at the moment. So, just got the camera pointing at a place where I know, and wow, I've got, well, I actually had someone watching by the look of it. That little 0 changed to a 1 on the watchers thing. Okay, that's something new. They've disappeared now. That's fine. Okay, just put a message now. Okay, I'm live. Woohoo. And we'll see what happens. A little smiley little emoji. Those only showing up as text. Okay, right, yeah. I've got the camera, the laptop camera pointing somewhere where it's hopefully not showing anybody's windows. The windows of the places behind me I know are just empty flats at the moment, so that won't be invading anybody's privacy. Okay, so just thought I'd try doing a short little live stream here where I try speaking about sharing a few of my thoughts on some of the F1 liveries that have been now all been revealed. Obviously, testings are completed as well, so I'm planning to try and do a separate live stream about that another time. By the way, apologies if the quality of this live stream is terrible, because I tried doing a test live stream on my other YouTube channel a few minutes ago with this exact same setup, and it was looking pretty terrible when I played it back. Grainy as anything. Sound quality wasn't great either, although it wasn't quite as bad as the picture quality. But yeah, so yeah, this really is going to look like somebody's first ever attempt at making a YouTube video when I play it back, when it gets played back, I'm sure, but we'll see. There's going to be plenty of noise pollution outside as well, because I'm sitting outside in a garden here, so there's going to be bird noises, traffic noises, people shouting and screaming sometimes as well, but we'll try and fight through it and see what happens. I have finally got myself a place to stay, hopefully starting in September, where I'll have a proper flat, hopefully, from then onwards. So obviously that's a few months away yet still, but it's only going to be a matter of time before this changes, and the setup will be temporary, is my point. So that's all. Let's see how I can make the best out of a bad job at the moment for the time being. So yeah, basically, also this is Lion's coffee break. Here is the coffee. So That's just fun news. I like using sometimes. It's not. I don't think I'm Bruce Springsteen or anything like that. It's purely a funny mug that I thought was good. That's a nice big size as well, which I saw in a supermarket quite a long time ago now, actually, and before the pandemic, and bought it. So I've been having my coffee out of that. Plenty of coffee keeps me going. Certainly first thing in the morning as well. So yeah, basically, so yeah, we'll see how long I can keep this stream going for, and hopefully speak about all the things I want to speak about before I start feeling too conspicuous or before it gets too dark, because the sun's just going down at the moment. It hasn't set yet, but it's in the process of getting dark at the moment. So as long as the light stays good enough, I'll keep the stream going as well. Yeah, so Haas livery. Nothing imaginative. I didn't find it particularly inspiring at all, I've got to say. I think that Haas have never done anything particularly imaginative livery-wise. They all seem to have been variations of the same, more or less the same livery, based on really the original livery, which Haas designed for their first car back in 2016. It's never really varied much from that, I don't think. So they've never done anything particularly impressive with the livery. The only livery that they've done which has been a bit more colourful was the 2021 livery, which obviously had the blue in it, instead of just red and black and white and various other colours in between those two. And of course that was for highly questionable reasons that livery was created sponsorship wise, and it's a good thing that it changed back from that for good reasons. So I don't miss that Eurocali livery at all. So but it's a shame they haven't done something more imaginative with this livery, because it's just seems like they're just rehashing old ones which were never particularly imaginative or colourful in the first place. So that one was a bit meh. In no particular order, Williams seemed to have done a logical development of their livery a little bit better, but it's more. I like that they have a bit more electric blue in the car now. That's nicer. I liked how Williams did their livery of when it was first taken over by new owners. I liked how they went back to, they tried to make a livery which was inspired by the roots of the team, which was really nice. I like the reasons for doing it, and I like how they have moved on from that. Logically, they've tried to develop it. It looks like they've tried to develop it and go their own direction now a little bit with it, which is nice. I think Alfa Romeo have done a really great job with their livery. I think it's than the previous Liveries. I think I like how they've gone for black instead of white to complement the red. I think it works really nicely. Obviously, it'll be a little bit easier to be confused with a Ferrari now, but it's still different enough from the Ferrari to be easily distinguishable. So that's all good, and I think that's an excellent livery. I think McLaren, I think nothing particularly stands out for me with McLaren. I think their livery has been a little bit kind of uninspiring. It's a development, evolutionary in the extreme rather than revolutionary, which is, nah. I think nothing particularly stands out for me about that one yet. I think Red Bull have done probably the least imaginative livery they possibly could have done, completely unchanged from last year. So really thoroughly unimaginative. Although I guess they've gone with the approach of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Fair enough, I can understand that. But it basically looks like they're fielding the exact same car they did on the surface. It looks as if they're fielding the exact same car that they did last year, which is a little bit like what Lotus did in 1986 after 1985, and a little bit like what Benetton did in 1993 after 1992. Obviously, it's a new car underneath. Obviously, it's had changes and developments, but the total lack of change to the car shape, plus the total lack of change to the livery, makes it look like they're running the same car for 2 years. I mean, bear in mind, obviously, it is a thoroughly awesome car, right enough. So they didn't need. It was such a car once the reliability issues have been ironed out in the first few races of last year. Just so unstoppable. So yeah, that's fair enough, and I can understand Red Bull being thoroughly unstoppable this year again. Probably without the issues that they had in the opening races of the year as well, because they have done such a. Because obviously they're developing a car which was completely new at the stage of last year, so it won't have the teething problems, or is unlikely to have the teething problems that their car had last year. Ferrari, absolutely beautiful, customary beauty, stunningly beautiful car. At the risk of sounding cheesy, it's a Ferrari. It's a Ferrari, so it's beautiful. Apologies in advance if I miss one or two out, actually, because I'm just doing this completely off my own bat, without a script or without doing them consulting the internet or anything like that. So it's just completely my brain's a little bit fried, I think, from having to do so much studying for college work. So much studying I've been doing for college these last few weeks. You feel the pressure after a while, but it's good pressure. It's nice, but it tires you out. So yeah, think, well, at least that's the first few. My favourite out of all the liveries, I've got to say, in terms of, at least in terms of the direction they've gone in, is Mercedes. The black Mercedes is back. That's awesome. That's fantastic. That's brilliant. I love the black Mercedes. I think it makes the car look so much more slick and sophisticated. I think it was a beautiful concept and it's a beautiful car. I missed when they went back to silver last year. I felt it was a step backwards for Mercedes in terms, at least cosmetically, in terms of the appearance of the car. And I love that they've made it black again. That's such a beautiful looking car. Logically, I think that they're missing out on, and I want to coin the term now if nobody else has done it already. The new Mercedes, if the silver Mercedes is a silver arrow, then the black Mercedes is a black beauty. That's what it should be called. It's a black beauty, that Mercedes. So I'm looking forward to seeing that Mercedes in action when they start racing it. And also, hopefully it's a better car than the W13, and hopefully it will restore Mercedes at least to the regular fight for race wins. If not right to the front end, at least it should be a step forwards for them. So I'm looking forward to see how they do with that. Okay. Yeah. I was thinking about taking my jacket off. So I just had my t-shirt on my top half to show to look more like a regular YouTuber for this live stream. But to be honest, it's so cold out here. Well, it's 7 degrees C, so typical, like normal temperature for this time of the year in Scotland. Basically, late February. It's so cold that I just decided to leave the jacket on. So this will be a pretty unusual looking live stream for once it's archived, something to look back on and hopefully see where I started from, because I'm planning to make more live streams like this in future. So yeah, this is just checking the battery percentage. Oh, 73% remaining. Okay, that should be fine. I'm a little bit worried about I'm a little bit worried about the battery potentially getting low on power and possibly dying because it's colder out here, and I know that can affect battery life on devices to an extent at least. It's such a nice night, to be honest. Although it's it's so, apart from being cold, it's beautiful. You could sit out here all night if it was warmer. It's such a nice night. It's blue sky without any clouds at all, so it's just great. So, yeah. You'd never guess I live near the sea, do you? Okay. So, yeah. Alpha Tauri, that's another one. Alpha Tauri, I actually quite like the development of their livery. I think it's nice that they've done something a little bit different with it. Adding red might confuse it with the Haas a little bit, but I think it's worth. It's good that they have developed the livery after the first couple of years. After the first 3 years, Alpha Tauri were here after Toro Rosso. I think that the livery was due a bit more of an update this year, and after the subtle changes during the first 3 years of it. And I like that they've added the bits of red on the barge boards and the halo and the rear wing as well, if I remember right. Really nice. It's nice to have those bits of red. Red is always a color which I love to see in F1 liveries. I think it's a really nice, such a beautiful, passionate, vibrant color. I love it. So nice that they've added that. One thing which struck me, and this is not an F1 comparison, but one thing which struck me about the AlphaTauri the AlphaTauri this year, when it's viewed from a head-on angle, it looks a lot like, well, it reminds me at least of the Newman Haas Lola IndyCar, which Nigel Mansell drove in 1993 and 94. So obviously that's, with not even being an F1 car, that's a bit of a stretch, but that's what it reminded me of. I think with the overall shape of it as well. I think Aston Martin as well. Nothing revolutionary about that. It's just basically, I like that they've added a bit more yellow to it, a bit more fluorescent yellow, which is nice. It's again just a development of last year's livery, so nothing spectacular, I wouldn't say about that, but it looks nice. Alpine, again, I think very similar to last year's livery, but it works and it looks good. So there's variety. There's some variety in color on the grid, which is nice. Okay. This is probably I admit, because I'm sitting here in a public place to an extent, I'm a little bit I feel a little bit conspicuous about going on for ages and ages. Plus, also I'm starting to feel quite cold. So what I'll do is I'll wrap up the live stream for now. But this has been fun to make and nice to share a few of my thoughts with the world again. So cool. All the best and see you soon.